live. Welcome, everybody, on YouTube, on the Zoom call, one and all, to our second annual zFestival final gala event series. I decided to call it an event series. I'm very excited about that. It is an event series because we have two events this weekend. We have one today starting right now and one tomorrow starting at the same time, 4 p.m. Eastern. There are two final galas, and over the course of this weekend, we'll be presenting 35 new pieces of music and art. They'll be presented for the first time at the galas, and then they'll be posted on the zFestival YouTube, or in some cases, there'll be a website interaction, or maybe some TikTok appearances. So definitely stay tuned to watch all of the pieces, and you will get some exciting zFest stuff. If you miss anything, it'll all be up on YouTube right after this. You can always zoom back, watch it again. But yeah, before we get started with the premieres, we have plenty today. Is it 15 or so today? Maybe 16 of the 35?
About right.
Say that again?
About right.
I think so, yeah. But yeah, before we do that, just want to recap a little bit about what the summer was. So you just saw a second ago Shoshana Klein, who is the executive director of zFest. I am Peter Traver, the artistic director. Sometimes we call each other co-directors. We don't really have set titles, so but I think officially that's what we are right now. But yeah, we've been running this show with 62 participants, some of whom are here on the Zoom call with us right now, some of whom are on the YouTube, some of whom are just watching something else right now, I guess. But anyway, for those of you joining us who don't really know what zFestival is about, we just want to give you a little bit of what we are, who we are, what we do, how we run things. So like I said, this is the second annual zFestival. We started this last year during the pandemic. We filled in some gaps of music festivals canceling due to COVID. And we wanted to give people an opportunity to keep making music, keep making art, and throughout the process, engage with technology that could make a virtual experience better and easier, and perhaps even lead to new innovative artistic techniques and aesthetics and styles. So that's what we tried to do. We did it last summer. We ran a program in the fall. We did things throughout the spring. And now we ran another summer program with these 62 wonderful participants. We ran it a little differently this year. We talked a little bit about, we organized groups. So what happens at the beginning of the festival is we put people into a bunch of different ensembles. You'll be seeing the works from those small ensembles over the course of tonight and tomorrow night. But we put people into different tracks this year. So I don't know, Shoshana, if you want to talk a little bit about the tracks.
Sure, I'll do a quick rundown on the tracks. We had, as Peter said, we had 3 tracks. We have what we call the traditional track, which is only called traditional because it's what we did last year. So it's pretty similar to that, in which we have one composer, a group of instrumentalists or vocalists who are performing, and this year we opened it up to some visual artists as well. And they have someone assigned to audio engineer the piece, but basically they all have, everybody has an assigned role. The second track we have is a multidisciplinary track where everybody is assigned into an ensemble, but nobody has an assigned role. And so you're just supposed to create a piece with your group of people and see what you come up with. So those should be pretty exciting. So stay tuned to see what people came up with in those groups. And then the third track we have is a new composer solo performer track, where we brought in slightly less, maybe slightly less experienced composers to write for a solo performer. And those two people got to work really closely together to create a new piece. And so, yeah, those are the 3 things, the 3 types of ensembles you'll be seeing in the performance tonight. This afternoon, whenever it is.
Yeah, what is 4 o'clock? I don't really know.
4 o'clock.
It's a time. It's a time.
Anyway, continue with.
But yeah, like Shoshana said, you'll be seeing all those groups over the course of the 2 evenings. We'll be announcing at the beginning of each piece what kind of group it is. It's also in the program. If you haven't gotten the program, you want to just pop it into the YouTube chat again. It's a link there. You can also find it on our website, zfestival.org. See all the lovely names for our participants. Just a quick rundown of what else went on aside from the groups and the ensembles that were working on projects. We also invited in guest artists. We had 10 guest artists this year to inspire our participants and offer some workshops to help develop craft and talk about possible aesthetics in their work, give us a rundown of a few different things. We broadened our scope this year to include more than just audio artists. Last year, we were mostly a music festival. This year, we had a documentary filmmaker come in. We had a dancer who works a lot with technology come in. And we also had a playwright in addition to a bunch of audio people. And the audio folks talked about improvisation, Afro-Cuban influences in music, working across media, communicating with clients, and a bunch of other things. Those are all still live on YouTube, not live, sorry, they're recorded on YouTube. So you can watch them on YouTube if you would like on our channel, which I believe is just zFestival with the capital F is our YouTube channel. But yeah, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel and you can get access to all those videos. I want to give a quick thanks to all the guest artists who came. And I also want to give a big thanks to our 2 very dedicated coaches who worked directly with our participants every week. We had a technology workshop and a composition workshop each week, in addition to some coachings with ensembles, working with some of the media that the participants were working with. So Luke Damrosh was our technology coach and worked with anything audio and visual relating to technology, using software, using code to generate sounds. And there were a lot of cool things that came out of his workshops and his collaborations with the participants. He worked on a few of the pieces that you'll be hearing tonight, specifically as an audio engineer. But yeah, so thank you so much for Luke for being here. And also Amelia Bray, who is our composition coach, held a weekly workshop seminar on technical and aesthetic aspects of pieces, the more compositional side of things. And she also coached a bunch of our new composers in the new composers track. So thank you so much, Amelia, for being here as well. Yeah, and the last thing I just want to say about what happened in the festival, we had a bunch of guest artists, we had coaches, and then we also had a community of folks. And we are really thankful for the community of people that we've had join us this past year, and adding a bunch of new folks this summer into what we hope to be a broader community that will last beyond just the 4 weeks this summer. But yeah, we did some fun social games together. We hung out, joked. We did a really exciting 48-hour challenge where people made pieces really quickly. And we also sang Happy Birthday twice on YouTube. So those are still up on YouTube if you want to watch them. They're pretty fantastic. But yeah, that's kind of a glimpse into what happened over the last 4 weeks. We're almost to the point where we're going to play all the pieces. I want to check in with Shoshana, make sure that I didn't forget anything.
Nope. You still have things to do in your little.
I know. I have a little script. We're working with scripts this year.
I can't believe I didn't look at this and tell you to make it shorter.
It's not that long. There's 5 more minutes until the start of the first piece, I promise. But yeah, the last thing I want to do is just thank a bunch of people who made this festival happen. And those people fall under the umbrella of our donors. We have a very large donor base. We've had multiple crowdfund campaigns, many of whom participants, parents, family, loved ones, and just a broader network of folks that have come around the zFestival spirit have really made this possible.
Not mind having an even broader donor base. if you would like to join this donor base.
Yes, this is true. There are links in the YouTube chat if you would like to join our donor base. I do want to thank specifically the Musicus Fund, which is out of the Boston Foundation, who directly sponsored this gala and the gala tomorrow through a grant and matching funds, and also the donors who helped match those funds back in the spring. Yeah, like Shoshana said, there are links in the chat. You can make a tax-deductible donation via your Fractured Atlas. You can also make a direct donation to us through our PayPal link, which is our paypal.me/zFestival, I believe is the link. Either of those donations will go to us and will support our programs in the future. But yeah, I think that is it for the introductions and the welcome. I feel like even though it was a long script, I felt like that went by pretty quickly. And now we are ready to start. Shoshana's giving me an eye that it didn't go by quickly. It's okay. I'm verbose. People know that. It's part of the festival. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. We have a bunch of pieces today and then even more tomorrow. We'll take a little 10-minute intermission about halfway through. Let people stretch their legs, go to the bathroom, grab a cocktail or sorts. But yeah, otherwise, sit back, relax, grab the program, put this up on your TV and enjoy. So the first piece that we are starting with on this July 31st final gala is, I should explain before that the titles of the groups, there's a little bit of lore. We titled them after letters. So there are A through N ensemble minus a Q if we ever got up there. I think we got through an O ensemble this year, actually. So if you see the titles of the groups and you're like, what does that mean? It's just a mechanism that we labeled. Duo Perla is the exception, which is one of our preformed ensembles that joined us. Shannon Riley and Tom Teresi. You'll see them a bunch today and tomorrow. And then there are the solo performance and the multidisciplinary group. If you have any questions, toss them in the chat. We'll explain it. But hopefully that was a little crash course. Okay, let's get the show on the road. I've talked enough. The first piece is from G Ensemble. I believe I decided it's pronounced Coratoriosto. If someone's here who wants to correct me on that, feel free. But I would also like to turn it over to anyone here if they would like to say any words. I'm not sure if Jonathan Postuma is here. And I know that one of the participants didn't want to say anything. So I think we might just go straight into the piece. And here it is, G Ensemble, Coratorioso. Wow, congratulations, G Ensemble. It was really beautiful work. I was gonna say it was neo-Baroque, but then it said the excerpts were from J.S. Bach, and I was like, okay, so it like just kind of is. But no, it was a really interesting clash of different styles, and really put together nicely. So thank you. We're just gonna keep going right along. And we'll get some momentum. The second piece is from Duo Perla, who is our preformed ensemble. And the piece is titled Growth, and it's by Tim Walters, who I'm not sure if Tim wanted to say a few words, but you are welcome to.
I'll just say a couple things.
Hey.
Hi everybody. My name's Tim Walters. This piece really came together just from a fragment that I had worked on way back in May of 2020. Feels like a blink away, but it's really like so much further than you'd expect. So I reformed it into this kind of like progressive rock piece between a violin and a nylon string guitar. I hope that you all enjoy it. Kind of take your own ideas from it, and go from there.
1 second.
Yeah, while we wait for Shoshana to get the piece up, I just want to say Dua Perla is one of our is an exciting example of zFest, because normally all of our participants are across the world, across the country, collaborating virtually, and Dua Perla are in the same place and have been able to collaborate throughout the pandemic in person. So it was a slightly different experience than the traditional zFest experience, but having seen a few excerpts of the pieces by them, they are fantastic, and they are such fantastic players, both Shannon and Tom.
It was lovely to be able to collaborate with them. It was so easy. Sending the music over to them, they sent a wonderful rough draft back, and we had a couple ideas to change, but mostly the piece that they sent the rough version of is what they performed. So
it's great, and I think we're ready now. So
all right,
I think we can go ahead and. Wow. Congrats on that, Tim. That was fantastic. Yeah, at some point, like halfway through, Charlie said, I'm hearing the prog rock. And I was like, yeah, when it started, I didn't know. I was like, ooh, prog rock, this is a real alternative, I guess. But then it like kicked in. And I was like, ooh, it was great. Congratulations. Great. The next piece is our first solo performance. So the first two you've seen have been in the quote unquote traditional track. And this piece is now from the new composer's solo performance track. So the new composer is Daniel Waldron, who has been a performer with us for a while, an oboist, but he wrote a piece for Amon Swinbank, on flute. And the piece is called Flex. And I was wondering if Dan wanted to say a few words before we share it.
Hi, thanks, Peter. Yeah, sure, I can introduce this. First thing I should say thanks to Amon. Amon, you contributed so much creativity and technical facility to our partnership, and I had a really great time working with you, and I think I learned a huge amount from working with you. And this has been such a tremendous experience. So Flex, the title refers to a quote from Maria Davana Headley about her 2020 translation of Beowulf. And the quote is, "In an oral tradition, even a king's poet would have needed to flex to get to the floor." And for me, that is what the title refers to, but also it's about flexibility of musical interpretation or tempo. And when dealing with something which is part written and part oral tradition, for me, that's very important. I hope you enjoy it.
Wow. Dan and Amon, thank you for that. That was really nice. It had such a nice space to it. So much time taking, and the gestures on the flute were just gorgeous. Congratulations to you both. I should say before we go on to the next ensemble, which is another traditional track ensemble, we kept the ensembles pretty small this year. We had, I think, 3 people, and most of them, there were maybe 1 or 2 that were 4 people, which is significantly smaller than last year. We had people around 4 to 6 in an ensemble. I think one ensemble even had 8. But as you've seen with Dan's piece and the first piece, which was Jonathan Posthuma's, even if you have 3 people or 1 person, you can have more than 1 line of music playing at one given time. And that's kind of one of the big themes that we have at zFest is no matter what resources you're given, you can always lay down multiple tracks. You can always finalize it using some audio engineering, putting it all together, and still have a really good track with however many voices you want or can do in whatever given span of time you have, but with more than just the number of people that you are given. So that being said, let's go on to the next performance, which is from F Ensemble. It is a piece titled Everything is Tiny by Seamus Hubbard Flynn. And I'm wondering if anyone from this ensemble is here, and Seamus is. So I will turn it over to Seamus to say a few words.
Hi, I'm Seamus. Thanks to zFestival for having me and for doing all of these amazing things, to everyone who's come up until now. I'm calling from occupied Dakota territory in so-called Minnesota. And yes, I've written a piece called Everything is Tiny. The title comes from a quote from Tomoe-san Katagiri, who is a Japanese Zen elder in the Minneapolis area. And this piece is about leaving lots of time and space for everything and not needing to prove anything. So I hope you enjoy it, and thanks a lot to the performers, Ian, Ryan, Christina, and Yeeting, who made amazing generative visuals for this. If you have a chance to go back and watch this later, I suggest watching the piece with the generative visuals after midnight with all of your lights off. So I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you. And if anyone else from the ensemble wants to add some stuff, feel free.
Wow. Everything is tiny indeed. Thank you, Seamus, and the entire ensemble for that. I have to say the visuals and the audio went together so beautifully. And there was just so much space, but the bass noise and the visuals just filled it very subtly and nicely. Thank you so much. I will definitely have to watch that again in midnight with all my lights off. Before I go on to the next piece, which is another solo performance piece, I do want to shamelessly say that since the beginning of the gala until now, we have already received a general support donation via Fractured Atlas. So I would just like to say thank you for the person who donated. And it is never a bad time to send us some money if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, or if you just like sitting with us, whatever works. But yeah, that's my shameless little plug. Hopefully there won't be too many more of those tonight. The next piece is a solo performance piece. I've been told to interpret the title phonetically as I please. So I think I'm gonna call it Na Mo Wo Man. And it's by Sam Kabina, who is here and would like to say a few words about it.
Yeah, so I guess first, just, I don't know how I'm gonna follow that, but I guess we're here. And then a huge thank you to Sarah Richards. She's the vocalist that I got to work with. It was so much fun, like discussing like early music with her because she did her master's in that. And so she was I wanted to write something that gave her the freedom to express that. But then I also wanted to push her to do something a bit more uncomfortable with like 4 background vocal tracks that create different textures. So then for the actual subject of the piece, I wanted to write something that was like a reflection or based on mirrors, something with mirrors, but that also looked at gender expression, masculinity and femininity, and inward meditation on what it means to be man or woman or both or neither or something. So yeah, so then the background vocals are just various textures that change, sometimes jarringly, sometimes they just say the word mirror and they're pitched down an octave to get that extra element. And then halfway through the audio, the background audio will reverse and we get a true palindrome and a true mirror, hence the title. And then the vocal line, the solo vocal line sort of floats in and out above, below the background vocals, and textually, the lines start to reverse. And then the text, just so we know where it's from, it's pulled from a poem with some other things thrown in. The poem is Putting on My Face by Tada Chimako, a Japanese poet. Really awesome poem. Go read it if you don't know it. And then finally, there is no real climax, but just sort of a meditation on 4 words from that poem. Those words are man, woman, concrete, and abstract. So enjoy.
What is a man without? What is a woman with? Neither husband or lover. What is a man without? What is a woman with? Neither husband or lover. What am I without? What am I with? Abstract, concrete. Just think and I can be. switching jack for queen. Facing the mirror, I put on my face. Tonight I become a boy and no one will know. Facing the mirror, I put on my face. Today I become a girl and no one will know. No longer will I envy any man or woman. Just think what I can be. Concrete woman, abstract man. Concrete man, abstract woman. Concrete woman, abstract man. Concrete man, abstract woman. Concrete man, abstract woman. Concrete woman, abstract man. What am I without? What am I with? Facing the mirror, I put on my face. Facing the mirror, I put on my face. Tonight I become a boy and no one will know. Today I become a girl and no one will know. And no one will know, and no one will know. Switching jack for queen. What is a man without? What is a woman with? Neither husband or what am I?
What am I indeed? Thank you so much, Sam and Sarah. That was gorgeous. And there's some compositional techniques in there that I feel like I'm going to want to steal if I ever do some solo rep. Also, like, when's the opera / song cycle coming out, Sam? Question mark. Great. Thank you again, Sam and Sarah. And let's move on. I believe the next ensemble, we don't have anybody here who would like to say a few words. So I will just introduce it and we can go straight into it. It is from B Ensemble with a composer who returned from last year, who joined us last year and is again this year. It's a piece called A Truly Awful Situation by Josh Brown. And the ensemble is Julia Bogdanevich, Amanda Forrest, and Eric Schuster.
I am in a truly awful situation that I could be positive about, but I still want to scream, want and my enormous depth of skills in the tech industry will get me a job What is really bothering me? What is really making me want to scream? I want to scream because I cannot go to my favorite coffee shop. It's like the Greek gods gathered together just to spite me. It's like they designed my personal hell. This truly terrible yet survivable situation. And now I can't even go to my places of base comfort at the time I need them most. So on the empty corner of 234th and Broadway, if you catch a girl scream while walking into a FedEx to return her work computer, that's me. I would also like to thank my very nice FedEx lady for being so nice and letting me vent about my truly terrible yet survivable situation. I tipped her $1 for her kindness.
That was great. I should have prefaced that piece with a little bit more of the history of it. It is a part of a song cycle or a collection of songs that Josh Brown is working on called Karen Leader, which I'm sure I'm not going to put it in the best words, but it's about all the Karens that you know and love in the world, and their responses, I believe, to the pandemic and other such scenarios in which Karens illuminate themselves to the world. Pardon me, Josh, if that is not an accurate description. But we'll leave the Karen Leader behind and we'll go into a slightly more haunting, or perhaps equally as haunting, scenario with another solo performance. So this piece, Via de Vecchi, or the House of Witches, it was composed by Richard Rissy for Joe Baraback on percussion. And I believe Richard is going to say a few words about it.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm hoping you all can hear me with this. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a background before this very spooky piece. I do have to thank Joe and Peter for helping me get this piece together from this short 1 minute and 1:30-minute, 2-minute piece to a much longer work. It's for 5 percussion instruments after starting with 3. However, I took the story of the Villa de Vecchi, which is by Lake Como in Italy. So a northern Italy mansion had been given this name, the Villa de Vecchi. And It goes by many names: House of Witches, the Ghost Mansion, and has many rumors about the demise of its owner, Count Felix, and his family, and the villa, which still stands to this day after an avalanche had come by. There was many omens, including the builder of the house who passed away 1 year before the completion, and the count's wife was found brutally murdered and her face disfigured, the daughter missing and never found again, to even Count Felix ending his own life. And the villa was passed down to his brother, and it was left vacant at the start of World War II before the avalanche happened. And it was remembered by its great halls with the music that was playing on their lovely looking piano. And people still claim they can hear ghosts playing it, or some ghostly entity still playing the piano. And it was found smashed to pieces. And the final omen was the avalanche. Anyways, I do want to thank Joe and Peter again, and I hope you enjoy this spooky little piece with all its quirks.
That was great. Richard and Joe, thank you for that. And the story is such a vivid one, and the music comes out so nicely with each of the parts. So thank you so much. Really lovely, really lovely. So the next group requires a little bit of an introduction, since this is our first multidisciplinary group. So like Shoshana said way back at the beginning, the multidisciplinary group, they didn't have any roles. We just kind of threw them in a group together and tasked them to come up with a concept and then a final product for their piece. We met with them throughout the way. I think we had 3 meetings and then kind of let them go and finish it up. So this is the first multidisciplinary group that we're displaying tonight. The piece is called Roseau Crystalline. And the artists are Matthew Toffoletto, Dionisio Aguirre Trevino, and Teo Bohm, Wei Ying, Olivia Wong, and Stephanie Henry. And I believe Teo is going to say a few words about this piece.
Yeah, hi. Mic is working, yeah, okay. So this piece, we kind of built it around the vague premise of like the filtering of nature, the interaction of nature with like man-made sort of, you know, mechanical, I guess, filters. Just this very broad idea of interaction between nature and like industry. So the way we went about that was using like a bunch of field recordings as our like source material, and passing those through lots of filters, whether it be through like many layers of reverb to like extract sort of pure tones from it, or whether it was even just the act of recording nature that through which you kind of put it through a filter. We had like a pretty diverse set of abilities in this group. And so, yeah, we kind of found ways to integrate some pretty disparate material into a piece. And I think it's a pretty, I don't know, it's a pretty unique piece. I like the sound of it a lot. Yeah, as I said, we make use kind of as the backbone of the piece, we make use of this reverb treatment kind of based around this idea that's exemplified in Alvin Lucier's I'm Sitting in a Room, I believe that's what it's called, where you apply progressive layers of room tone or of reverb to a treatment until only these like tones, like the biases of the treatment, are what is left of the sound. And yeah, on top of that, we applied various treatments, various like filterings of our field recordings, some keyboard playing, yeah, some other sounds. Hope you enjoy it.
Wow. Thank you, the first multidisciplinary group. That turned out fantastic. I have to say, it reminded me last year we had a bunch of pieces come together that were sort of like this alternative trance-like music. And I have to say, this sort of rang a bell similar to that, particularly with the rhythmic birds, which I think were a crowd favorite in the YouTube chat. So thank you, all of you. The birds and the trees, I should say, the tree video was just lovely. But yeah, the next piece we have is another solo performance. The title of the piece is Children's Garden Haiku. And the composer is Joe Barabak and the performer Julia Bukanevich. I believe Joe is gonna say a few words.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, and thank you, Shoshana. This festival has been an awesome experience. First I wanna say that when I first heard Julia's recording, my jaw hit the floor because her voice sounds really incredible. It was quite a gift for her to perform some of my music, and she actually chose, we talked first about some text that would interest her. It just so happens that she loves gardening, so the video I made, put together, was just footage that she shot of her in her garden. And there's 6 haiku, and I wrote them a number of years ago, but as I reread them, and with the help of Amelia, I saw that all 6 of the haiku really work together. And so they're linked smoothly, hopefully, with marimba accompaniment in the background. And they all, you could imagine like a 2-year-old running around the garden and just focusing on one thing at a time. So that's Children's Garden Haiku.
Mushrooms that we see, makes more mushrooms that we don't. Beneath
Man, every time I hear Julia sings, her voice just blows my mind. That top that you have there, oh man, you're cranking out those high notes. I should say that we forgot to list in the program. It does say it's a solo performance, but I forgot that Joe was actually playing the marimba in that piece as well. So a solo performance turned into a duo performance. But yeah, very lovely. The marimba playing was amazing. The vocals, awesome. The gardening, very relaxing. I don't know, these outside images of just nature is really therapeutic, I think. I'm enjoying it. We have one more piece before we're gonna take a short intermission for about 10 minutes to come back for the last half. The last half has 7 performances, I think about 50 minutes of music after that, or music in other media. We have a few multidisciplinary groups after the half. But yeah, before we get to that, our last group for this half of the concert is D Ensemble with a piece titled Sleep Thing by Matthew Tuffoletto. The ensemble is Connor Johnson, Stephen I, and Amanda Forrest. And I believe Matt is going to say a few words.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Yeah, this was a really fun project. I'm really grateful to Connor and Amanda and Stephen for just being incredibly flexible and like trying this very weird way of sort of communicating about what the piece is going to be. It was a very explorative process and sort of back and forths around trying to find certain notes. And we ended up basing the entire piece on the sort of samples of Stephen's toy pianos, which are tuned very irregularly. And that created some really interesting interactions, having the trumpet and the clarinet part interact with that. And then putting the video together, I was really excited to be working with woodwinds and, well, wind instruments, broadly speaking, on this project. As I was thinking a lot about this sort of relationship between air and atmosphere and breath and light, and how sort of color and sound form in that process. And so what you'll see in the footage is this very light and color focused filtering of footage from the Gemini and Apollo missions, the Apollo launch, and the particular like color of the rocket mission, and then like footage out the window of the reentry on the Gemini mission, and seeing sort of the way in which light undergoes this dramatic transition going from an atmosphereless state into an atmosphere. Yeah, enjoy.
Wow. A few comments in the chat, sorry, from Zoom said that it was breathtaking work, and Sam said that they feel like they just transcended, which I love. It was quite the journey, and I love particularly at the end when the sound all fades away and you just see the image moving a little bit. I don't know, quite lovely. Not everybody pays attention to their ends, and I feel like that was very, very intentional. So thank you, Matt, and Amanda, Connor, and Stephen for making that happen. With that, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Let everybody stand up, stretch their legs, get some water, get your favorite cocktail if you would like. Whatever you'd like to do in the next 10 minutes. We're going to take a 10-minute intermission here and come back with the last 7 works. It's sort of a tradition for us during an intermission, at least, to put up a whiteboard and let participants draw on it if they'd like in the Zoom, which would show people on YouTube a little bit about what we're about when you're in a Zoom with us. We did this last year, I believe, and I think just to keep it consistent, I'm going to put up our mission statement, which is also what you saw before the YouTube started, and we'll treat this as our intermission slide. So I'll put it up, and let's give ourselves 11 minutes. Let's say when it's 52 after the hour, we'll come back and start this up again. So enjoy your 11-minute intermission. Hello, hello, hello. You still have 1 minute left according to my clock, or less than a minute, I suppose now. Okay, and it is 5:52 where I am. So I'm going to take down the share. Hopefully we didn't lose too many folks. But we are back, and I just want to give a quick shout out to Dio, if you are not back and can hear me, if you want to get back to your computer. That would be great. But yeah, we are going to start the second half. We have 7 more pieces, if I counted correctly. And then we will be taking a brief recess until tomorrow to finish up all the premieres for this weekend. But let's get the show on the road. The second half, we're starting off with another solo performance. This piece is titled Special Meeting of the Muskegon School Board, which I hope Dionisio tells us a little bit about, because I know what it's about, and it's quite fascinating. It's even more fascinating than he finds it fascinating. But that's the title of the piece, and it's by Dionisio Aguirre Trevino, and Shannon Lewis is the flautist who played on the piece. So I'll turn it over to Dio to say a few words.
Sorry, I had a machine running. Hello, everyone. First of all, I want to thank Shannon Lewis for her magnificent performance. And I think I need to explain a little bit about the piece. So the title might strike you as a little bit like nonsensical, but there is a city in Michigan called Muskegon, and they had a little bit of a conflict with the public school board. And so there was a time when they were having several special meetings in which teachers, students, and parents and people from the community just started calling out to these people on their corruption, their, I don't want to say strong words, but a little bit on their incompetence and on the aloof attitude that they had towards all the problems that the district had. So, well, that's a pretty interesting story in itself. I found a lot of inspiration in the almost Buddha-like piece that this school board, the people in charge, showed against the verbal attacks, which was what that was, of the community. And so perhaps they were in the wrong, but I think there was a lot of beauty in that, in a sense. So that's something I like a lot. It's a very mundane topic. It's something that for most people, it's gonna be completely insignificant. It's not gonna affect our lives in the least. But to see both the passion of the people that were confronting this situation and the calm of these public workers, I don't know, I found it very interesting and very inspiring. So that's a bit what the piece is about. I hope you enjoy, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
Wow. That really came together, Dio. And Shannon, there was some love for your multiphonics in the chat, but it's quite awesome playing. But yeah, really lovely. And I hadn't heard the entire piece played by Shannon yet. And it, I don't know, it illuminates a different side of the special meeting of the Muskegon School Board than I was originally anticipating. So a lot more depth to the piece, Dio, which knowing you is not so surprising. There is a small change to the program. We're going to hopefully swap the next two pieces in their order. So we're going to start with the solo performance by the piece by Eric Schuster and performed by Clarissa Littler, titled Spindrift, and then we'll come back to the multidisciplinary group in a moment. But yeah, I'll turn it over to Eric and Clarissa, who both, I think, want to say a few words about this process and this piece.
Sure. Hopefully you can hear me. This is a new computer, so. Okay, great. So yeah, part of, so Eric and I, I had posed this problem of like, I do a lot of like live coding stuff, which is basically like programming improvisationally to create patterns that create music. So I had posed this problem of like, well, what does a score look like for that? And then, Eric, who is just incredibly smart and clever, worked with me on this and came up with a score. And, Eric, if you want to say something about like how you were inspired by it.
Well, I wasn't really gonna say anything about the piece, but I just wanted to thank Clarissa for bringing it to life, and then also thank Amelia and Peter for helping workshop it. So, but you're free to talk more about it if you like, Clarissa.
Okay,
Thank you.
I can. Also, this is like the messing with my hair because this is the first time I've like appeared on camera for the entirety of zFest. This is most people's first idea of any idea what I look like. But yeah, so basically, Eric had some really like interesting ideas inspired by early John Cage on like patterns of repetition in percussion, and then basically came up with what was a really cool like set of combination of instructions and sort of musical fragments, like basically giving me a set of like chords and and essentially saying, well, do something with them, like arpeggiate them or something like that. Try making making patterns of percussion that have these elements, record a sample that has like this sort of sound to it. It was just like this really cool like one-page sheet, and so I riffed off of it, and that's the performance people will be seeing today.
That was so cool. The concept of writing for live programming, and I should say that in the program, the instrument that Clarissa was playing is listed as math, which is what she applied on, was math as her instrument. But a piece for live coding is just a fascinating concept, and it turned out so much better than I thought it could, being mostly an experimental process of a new kind of writing. So congratulations to both of you. I feel like that's more than a proof of concept, and has really turned into quite a lovely piece. And yeah, the sounds are just fantastic, and the visuals of watching you code it live is great. Great. Well, let's circle back to the multidisciplinary group Time.
We need a tiny bit of a powwow to decide how we're going to share this, I think.
Okay.
Right? No? Oh wait, do you got it?
I don't know. I think I can share them if needed. They're slightly out of order, but I think we can go ahead with that one way or another.
I think some of them are still processing in the folder, so if we could maybe circle back after another thing.
Okay, let's keep circling back then.
So sorry.
No worries. We'll come back to Time. Man, the anticipation might kill me, but let's keep going down with the order. So apologies for no heads up. L'ensemble, or as we like to call them, l'ensemble. Wait, no. Is this I ensemble? It might be I ensemble. It's hard to read.
No, I think it's us.
Yeah? Okay, it's L'ensemble. Anyway, it's Z Tao is the composer with a piece called Internal Affairs. And the ensemble is Alexa Letourneau, Daniel Waldron, and Christina Berger. I'll turn it over to UZE.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'm just joining from my phone right now. First of all, I wanted to say a big thank you to the ensemble, Dan, Alexa, and Christina, for, just learning the music, putting it together, and also meeting on Zoom to discuss details, both about music as well as some more logistical stuff. And what I thought I wanted to do is that since right now we are, obviously because of the pandemic, it had been quite difficult to make live music, at least in my experience. I thought it'd be cool to write something that would probably work better as a recorded piece. And that's something I've always been fascinated with, because me and my composition teacher, we always would talk about things such as balance. And that's just something that doesn't seem to be as big of an issue when you actually record a piece of music in a studio setting. So I thought I'd try to use this opportunity to kind of see what I can do with this piece of music. Yeah.
Peter, isn't this another one that you were sharing?
So you are well. Here your help. Oh, oh, believe you're all and real. The and will even to score. Now. Peak.
There's such a variety of music in this festival this year. I love it. That was fantastic. You know, it really evoked, I think it's John Cage's living room music, mostly because it was like 4 staves of quite an interesting instrumentation. But the score was beautiful visually. The sounds were amazing. The mixing and editing was gorgeous. And there was so much space, but it felt so full. So really congratulations on putting that together, Z and the ensemble, Alexa, Dan, and Christina. I think we are ready for the multidisciplinary group now, unless I'm mistaken. So we're going to circle back to this group of Shannon Lewis, Marina Lopez, Sam Cabina, Siad Wells, and Yuting Liu, with a piece titled Time. So I'll turn it over to Sam to talk a little bit about how this piece was put together and for what medium it is for.
Yeah, thank you. So part of the problem with sharing this is that we had decided we were going to make a series of TikToks, make a new TikTok account. And then some of the videos, like it doesn't work to see them on TikTok necessarily. There's some text that was hidden. So if we're sharing at zFest, we were supposed to download them, but we ran out of time, hence our name Time. Anyway, so the idea is that it's just a series of TikToks. If you don't know what TikTok is, the first video will kind of explain it. It's basically a time sink. You scroll for way too long watching all these really cool, sometimes bizarre videos. So we sort of then based all of our videos on this idea of time, and then also maybe the seasoning of time. So the first one has a bit of an explanation. The second video talks a little bit about synesthesia, and that was one of Shannon's big contributions to this. She has synesthesia, and if she wants to talk about it, she can. Otherwise, it's just a really cool thing where she sees colors or hears colors, basically. So she did like a time lapse and used colors on the word time, and or made a time lapse of the herb time sort of disintegrating. And then after that, Marina went and made a graphic score based off of those colors and based off of that time lapse. And then Yiting further took both of those and did some really cool generative visuals, using those as like source materials and adding some extra music, some really cool piano stuff that happens. And then Syed did a really beautiful guitar improv on, I believe it was just the time lapse of time. And then to end it all, and this is one of the things that I really like about zFest, is getting to explore a lot of different elements and different things. To end it all, we sort of, Marina put together a video of things, and I did a rendition of an Irish reel on Irish flute with some piano background. And the name of that reel is Time Will End. And then, of course, you can go find our TikTok account if you want to. There is a surprise video that's not going to be presented, but that's for another day. So that's all I've got.
Great, and I will be sharing these, so disregard my messy desktop that you will have to see, because I'll have to switch between videos. So here we go.
Hold on, you've been scrolling way too long now. You've stretched the rubber band that is your memory and snapped it. So that an hour feels like 20 minutes. 5 feel like an instant. And days flash before your eyes.
How wonderful it is to be able to fast forward through your life, isn't it? To make a year feel like a month, to bring on the good times sooner, and have them wash over you. Will you see them coming? The good times? Will you be able to disengage? To put your phone down? To slow down the tape? Swim through molasses? Savor the sweet nectar and feel it drizzle over your chin? Will you snap a picture? Take a video? Write a poem? Add it to the endless vortex, another piece of content in the cauldron that has us all under its spell. Scrolling way too long. Racing through our days. Content.
Yeah, it's called synesthesia, actually. Synesthesia. You can see music. You see music, all of the music. Yeah, you see that with your eyes, and it's kind of where it comes from. Synesthesia. Synesthesia. It's where you see.
That was great. Series of 7 TikToks. I never thought when we started the multidisciplinary track that a TikTok account would come out of it. It's been posted in the YouTube chat already, but just if you didn't hear, if you're looking to collaborate with a new artist, Claude the Bird is looking for collaborators on TikTok. You can duet with him there, if you know what that is. If you would like to sing along with Claude and or react to his playing, you can do that. But yeah, that was quite the trip through time. So thank you all in that multidisciplinary group. And definitely check out Time on TikTok. We have 3 more groups to present today, and then we'll take our hiatus for tomorrow. So let's keep going right along with An Ensemble, a piece titled Trio by Jake O'Connor. The ensemble is comprised of Christina Berger, Amanda Forrest, and Ian Fong, with Willen Whiting doing audio engineering. Is anyone here who would like to say a few words? And Jake.
Yeah, I'm Jake, the composer of this piece, but I don't have a ton to say about it. So I guess I will just thank all of the performers and Willen, our audio engineer. There was a lot of turmoil among the recording process and the performers, so their efforts are even more appreciated. So other than that, I'll just let you enjoy the piece.
Hold on a sec, this did this before and then it worked when I did it again. One second.
Thank you.
You guys can't see anything, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Shall we
I'll do it.
circle back?
That's fine. I'll just do it old school. For some reason, the fancy way didn't work, but I think this way should work. Never mind. Okay. Sorry about that. Now I need to figure out how to mute myself.
Yeah, that was a great ending. That was a bop. never would I thought bassoon, clarinet, and voice would be. It was like a really uplifting bop too. It felt like I just lifted my spirits. And I love the vocal line. It was great. Phonetic alphabet or phonetic spelling of syllables is also kind of fun. Brings in a slightly more jazzy vibe. But yeah, thank you so much. Also, big shout out to Ian Fong, who was not part of zFestival until about 2 days ago when we needed a last minute bassoon sub, and recorded that pretty much in an afternoon. So huge shout out to him. And in case I forget, there was another last minute bassoon sub, Lara Villanueva, who's been a audio engineer on a few of the pieces so far. I think the pieces that she played bassoon on are tomorrow, but just to make sure that I don't forget, I would also like to say thank you to her. Our second to last piece for today is another Duo Perla piece. The composer is Connor Johnson, and the title is Hyperbolic Orange. And I believe Connor has a few words to say about this.
I do. So hyperbolic orange is an imaginary color. This piece is part of a series of pieces that I'm doing on these imaginary colors. These are all colors that can't be seen with real light that can be produced in real space. They're all kind of optical illusions. So there's the Stygian colors that are darker than black, but impossibly saturated with the color that they are. There's self-luminous colors that look like they're glowing, and then there's hyperbolic colors. And these are all caused by after images of staring at a color for a while. You see the complementary color as an after image. So when you look at a bright cyan and then flip it over to an orange background, on top of that orange background, you see another orange that's even more, it's oranger than orange. And I've been fascinated by these colors ever since I found out about them. So there's not really much to this piece other than that it's music that feels orange to me.
That was great. I feel like it blended together so well. I like what Matt said in the chat where he was expecting a heavy metal drum breakdown and somehow that delivered exactly that. It was great. There was like some influences in the guitar that felt slightly disjunct from the violin that made this like really like nasty tension going on for a little bit. And I don't know, it was very intriguing to hear that that was the color orange to you. Because I don't know what color it was for me, but it might have been orange, maybe a deep orange, I don't know. Anyway, it was wonderful. And thank you for Duo Perla for performing that. We've reached the end of Gala 1. We have one more piece. Before this last piece, which is another multidisciplinary group, I just want to say that we did get another donation throughout this. So we've gotten 2 so far. Never a bad time to donate. We thrive on the support we get from our donors. And I'll say a few thank yous again to the guest artists who supported us, the coaches, Luke and Amelia, and all the participants. And yeah, please come back tomorrow. We have another whole slate of, I think, 16, 17 works tomorrow being premiered, same time, same place, 4 p.m. Actually, not same place, it's a slightly different YouTube link, but it's on our website and we'll post it in the YouTube after this piece. Yeah, thank you so much for coming out, and we'll, without further ado, let's get to our last piece of the evening, which is titled Orbital Irrigation. And I believe the group name is Department of Agriculture. But this is a multidisciplinary group comprised of Seamus Hubbard Flynn, Kahe Cheng, Joe Baraback, and Zoe Marie Hart. And I believe Zoe is going to say a few words about this.
Hi, everyone. Yes, we are Department of Agriculture. Thanks for the introduction. Our multidisciplinary group created orbital irrigation. Every member was involved in the music composition, poem, visuals, and performance elements. We utilized field recordings, vocal improvisation, and pre-recorded loops and samples to create an ever morphing soundscape. So I hope you enjoy orbital irrigation.
Snap you into one.
snap you, the shards snap you, the shards snap you into the sea. The shards snap you, the shards snap you, the shards snap you into the sea. The shards snap you. I was constantly active for about 4 years. I got really tired. I was constantly active for around 4 years. I got really tired. I was constantly active for about 4 years. Haze covered scenes with your skin. Sometimes here, sometimes there. Haze covered scenes with your skin. Sometimes here, sometimes there. And other parts of the world. Don't you smell the sea? Don't you smell the sea? Don't you smell the sea? Won't you swim in it? Won't you swim in it? Won't you swim in it? Voices are silent, thoughts are loud. Voices are silent, thoughts are loud. Voices are silent, thoughts are loud. Adventures of
Department of Agriculture. Wow. There's been a call from the YouTube chat for a Department of Agriculture opera. So you might have a patron looking to commission you all. You might just want to connect with whoever that is. That was really quite lovely, and I think a beautiful way to end our first evening of premieres. I think the total was 16 today. And we have another 16 tomorrow. I said 35 premieres at the beginning. We had to take, I believe, one of them out. So I think we're down to 34 if all the math is correct. But yeah, we will be back 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with more premieres. Thank you again to the Music is Fun from the Boston Foundation, all of our donors, our lovely participants, our 10 guest artists, our 2 coaches, and everyone else who has sent us an email, been involved with zFest in any other way. You've really been truly a lovely group to work with over the past year. And hopefully we will see more of this to come. But yeah, that's it for today. We will see you all tomorrow at 4 p.m. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you are in the world. See you tomorrow.